Hi, I'm James from Open the Box Games.
And I'm Iain from Open Box Games Jr.
Tonight we're going to take a look at a game going up on Kickstarter. It's called Masters of Football. Little disclaimer, we're not huge soccer fans. We don't sit around the house going, Manchester United!
West Ham!
So the question is, can you enjoy this game and not be a huge fan of soccer? Let's find out. So around our house, when we think sports, we think karate. Our family, we do karate. And we don't really play a lot of sports games. We play a lot of other games. So Iain, if I was to say, let's play a sports game tonight, what would be your thought?
Well, we don't really like sports games, but we like Dungeons and Dragons games. Let's play a Dungeons and Dragons game.
That said, we got asked to take a look at this game and if we'd be interested in doing it. And I had to think to myself, I was like, we don't really play sports games. I haven't really given them a chance just because I have this mental block where it just seems like a lot of tables, not a lot of graphics, and hours of monotony and boredom. So, got to thinking about it, and I do enjoy watching soccer. And if any game is going to translate to a board game, I think it would probably be soccer. So, we had to try it. Now let's explain the game and see what our thoughts are. So when this game arrived, I was surprised. There were a lot of components in the package. You got characters, you've got dice, you've got strategy cards, you've got money, a board, all kinds of stuff. It's not just about batting a ball around the field and trying to simulate soccer poorly. This is about managing your team during the playoff season, trying to maintain the best record possible. You're going to have a series of characters to draft from at the beginning of the game using a certain amount of money that's determined by which manager you've selected. Once you build your team, you lay them face down on the pitch and you have a strategy that you're going to hope to implement during the game, be it direct, aggressive, defensive, or possession, to try to set the pace of the game. You roll for your initiative. Whoever wins, taking into account home field advantage, which can play into that heavily, will be able to use their strategy, and everyone else has to set their abilities according to their rating in that particular area of gameplay. In center field, you have a marker, and it's going to determine whether you're on the attack or on the defensive for that given round. And each time you advance that, it's going to change slightly how you play it, whether it's trying to score or trying to block the other team from scoring. Once it gets to halftime, you have the option of switching out some of your characters to try to take advantage of the best strategy or to try to turn the tide on strategy for the rest of the game and set the pace. All right, now on to what we think about this game. Right, bud?
Yeah!
Right, let's just dive into this and see what we like. We'll start with the pros. This game is one of the more polished prototypes where it's very well thought out, it's very well researched. They've clearly done a lot of play testing on this game, and right down to the artwork, everything feels like it goes together, like it's one cohesive game. A lot of games have kind of a disjointed art style where things look, like they were designed by 5 different people. The artist is all the same. The artwork is very cartoony and streamlined, and it just kind of pulls you into the game. It's a very fast game, and so the cartoony look really, it just kind of, it keeps it light and fun and entertaining. What's your favorite part?
I like scoring goals!
He loves moving this counter around the center field and doing the attack, the defense, and rolling those dice. It has a very, very, very quick dice mechanic where once you get this set up and you determine the advantage, I mean, you literally fly through the first and second half of the game, and then you get that opportunity, that little pause where you can kind of calm down a bit for a second and think about your strategy and kind of reassess the situation and get the players swapped in and out. But it's very quick playing. We played it 2-player where you have non-player teams, and the non-player teams will play the player teams, and you got 2 people essentially, well, you got a player sitting out who's running the non-player team, but they don't feel like they're not a part of it because they get to roll for that other team. Now, if you're doing a 4-player team, a 4-player game, you're going to have 2 players that aren't playing.
Yeah, but they're like the audience.
Right. You kind of end up feeling like the audience where you're cheering for the teams that are playing, and you can have a moment to try to go through your roster and come up with a strategy for battling those teams as you go through that rung of players, that bracket for the championship. So it's very fast, right?
Yeah.
It's not a lot of downtime. It's pretty quick. All right, so that's what we like about this game, and there's a lot to like. There's a lot here. It's not a soccer simulation. It's kind of the overall thing. You're the puppeteer playing the teams and trying to build the best team. But when it gets down to it, it's very fast-paced action, just like a soccer match, right? Cool. Awesome game. Okay, so that's what we like about the game. Is there anything that gives us pause for concern or that wasn't quite right? I don't know. What do you think, buddy? Is there anything that wasn't perfect for you?
The planning, but I didn't like it because I just want to get in there and play. Attack and defend, and just roll some dice.
Okay, so the beginning may be a little bit slow for some kids, but once you get into the rolling, it's a pretty quick progression of game. For me, I guess the biggest issue I had was with the rules. Some of it was well thought out. It didn't explain perfectly a couple things like setting the home field advantage, stuff like that. And I would like to see some reference marks in there because frequently they reference other parts of the rules, but it doesn't give you a quick way of getting there. And I'd like to see where it says see the home advantage rule, page 6.1, where you go to page 6, paragraph 1, or something like that. It gives you a really quick reference, so there's less time skimming through the rules and more time just, yeah, got my answer, get back to the game. Because the game itself is very fast and keeps it feeling lively and energetic like a soccer match. So that's, I think, basically my only real concern. I mean, the game itself offers strategy for gamers, and it feels like a game. It doesn't feel like a sports simulation. It's not trying to be a sports simulation. It feels like a game. So if you're a gamer and not necessarily a huge soccer fan, I think you might even enjoy this game. And I would definitely check them out. mastersoffootball.com. They give a really good streamlined run through of the game that gives you kind of a feel for how it's played. And even for our prototype, they offered an app that lets you score your matches as you go through instead of having to keep all kinds of fastidious notes. And it transposes your score from each of the matches up until the championship rung. So it scores the whole championship and gives you your 3 points for a win, 1 point for a tie, and 0 points for a loss, which makes it very easy to track. So you do that whole bracket of championship. And then there's also the option where you go in and you can recruit new characters and stuff like that. They have different academy phases and stuff like that. And that's, again, explained on their page a little bit more detailed. I just wanted to give you an impression of the game and how we feel about it. So that's Masters of Football. Definitely go check it out on Kickstarter. I'm James from Open the Box Games.
And I'm Iain from Open Box Games Jr. and the Dice Tower.
We'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye.